Hello, I want to talk to you today about a fascinating subject, astral awareness and out of the body experiences. As some of you will know, I have had over 40 years experience of astral travel and OBEs. My new book, Astral Awareness, there it is now available on both my website, ericmcgoff.com, and on Amazon. Just type in Astral Awareness. The book covers many aspects of OBEs, including astral helpers, angels, masters, as well as the astral and etheric worlds. There are easy exercises included in the book, explaining several techniques to help with leaving the physical body and traveling in the inner planes in full consciousness. You know, OBEs are nothing new. People have been doing it for thousands of years. In many cases, this would have been a spontaneous occurrence because it has been known to happen naturally to people who are, let's say, a little bit more sensitive than the rest of us. Children, for instance, are far more sensitive psychically than adults, and they will often mention wandering around their houses at night while still asleep in their beds. Severe illness can cause us to leave the body, probably to seek other places that offer respite. Other examples include hallucinogenic drug use and other drugs, including alcohol. Certain ceremonial magical practices are designed to induce it. And shamans across the ages have used plant compounds to achieve travel out of the body to enable them to see the non-physical causes of illness or even to see into the future. But apart from all of this, most of us can experience OBEs if we learn to control our inner bodies by practicing certain exercises. There are many such methods that we can learn to use, and many of them are very effective. I personally started using some of the methods back in 1971 when I did some reading on the subject. My aim then was to become an astral helper, like my father before me. My father travelled extensively in the etheric and astral worlds and was quite an expert. He was able to find his way to anywhere and to anyone that he wished, even in the astral world itself. He was an astral helper for years, and his most notable helping incident was to the victims of the atomic bombs that were dropped on first Hiroshima and then Nagasaki in August 1945. When people die in natural circumstances, they move on to the astral, etheric, and then the astral planes without too much fuss or trouble. It's a natural process. There are always people that have gone before who will come to meet them. But when they die as a result of trauma, such as a road accident or other form of extreme violence, they can often be confused and disorientated after leaving their body. In many such cases, they can't accept the fact that they are actually dead, and so they try to get back into their bodies. And when that fails, they will hang about around the body and follow it to the morgue even, and then later to the grave or the crematorium. Needless to say, this is very distressing and is not a good way to start the afterlife. Astral helpers will be drawn to such people and will help to calm them, and eventually to accept their death as not only a natural fact, an occurrence, but also a new beginning. In this way, the helper will encourage the person to move on and accept the guidance of those others who will accompany them into their new life. I had heard my father talk about many of these astral helping episodes, and I wanted to do that work for myself. So I started reading and practicing various forms of exercises designed to give me out of my physical body experience while still consciously awake. I won't go into that process here, it's all in the book, but suffice it to say that it was several months before I could achieve OBEs in some sort of regularity. I have provided several of the most effective methods in my book, and these methods were very effective for me and also for many other people that have used them while following my course on Astral Awareness, which I ran for several years. Let's take a look at the two main planes that we can experience while out of our bodies. Well, the closest to the physical is the etheric plane. This is really a part of the physical, but at a subatomic level, what we would now call the quantum level. Because it is part of the physical, it is exactly the same as what we see and know in every way, but just at a higher rate of vibration. This can be confusing, but it is just a matter of degree of density. Air and water are part of the physical world, yet they have different properties because they are far less dense. The etheric is the same. It's the same world that we live in every day, yet it's not the same material. Our houses have the same rooms in the etheric, and the people we see are the same, but we are seeing them from the higher view of the etheric vibration. Keep in mind that we are not in our physical bodies, but have left it and moved away from it using our etheric body. And this body corresponds to the etheric world that we then see around us. Because of this, whilst everything looks the same, they are not solid as they are in the physical world. We can walk through walls, we can fly, and we can see into substances as though we are looking through an X-ray machine. I must qualify this because the ability to see through things is limited by the level of refinement to which we have become able to shift our awareness into higher vibrations. Normally, you would just see things as they are usually, but with a silvery sheen to them. But a slight shift in awareness can enable you to penetrate below the surface. Okay, well, imagine flying over your house or the houses where you live, out into the countryside or over the sea, to go to distant destinations or friends with just a thought. The OBE into the etheric plane is truly a life-changing experience. Not only can you do all of the above and much more, but you can view your physical body from outside of it. And that will change your view of yourself forever. To know for certain that you are not your body, but simply using it as a vehicle, just like you use your car, will dispel any fear of death that you may have, even if that fear is subconscious. There is much more about this fascinating experience in my book. Moving on then to the astral plane, this is a far more exciting world to discover because it is controlled by our emotions. It's where our emotions are formed, and this means that it can provide us with deeply moving experiences. The scenery is unlike anything that you can see in either the physical or the etheric worlds, because it is so much more vibrant and because everything is alive and meaningful. Nothing on earth can compare with the stunning scenery or the amazing beauty of the lands or the people. Even though the astral world has much that is comparable to the physical world that we know so well, there is an amazing extra quality to it that defies our ability to describe. Added to that is the fact that there are other elements to this amazing world that are far beyond anything that we can find on the physical plane. The wave bands of vibrations of the astral vary from the most dense and heavy elements in the lower levels to the most sublime and subtle of the higher upper levels, levels where angels tread and advanced humans run ashrams and initiate schools for those who aspire to become servants of humanity. Much of the work of an astral helper is done at the lower levels, where people experience many forms of distress. It is because of this that helpers must be of a well-grounded nature, even whilst working in those difficult and demanding conditions. Think of the range and power of human emotions, and you will get a sense of just how demanding work in the astral can be. It is certainly not for the faint-hearted. Etheric or astral projection is usually undertaken at night when asleep. Although the process mostly starts just prior to falling asleep. And to qualify that, let me add that it is also quite possible to leave the body in full consciousness while awake. But this is something that is more likely to be practiced by, shall we say, experienced projectors. It is most usual to start the process just prior to falling asleep. The intention is to let the body fall asleep while the mind remains active and fully aware. The brain awareness shuts down and enters sleep, but the mind remains in a state of conscious awareness, either in the etheric part of the everyday world, such as your bedroom, or the astral, where the scenery will be at first most likely to be more dreamlike, until you get more used to the experience and you can avoid emotional reactions to the change in environment and so on. It is also possible to project into the etheric and astral worlds from a sleeping state, rather than when entering sleep. This can be achieved from within a dream, or by a method that is set up to bring you to awareness at a certain time. These methods can all be learned, and with practice can be adopted to make etheric or astral travel a regular experience, and subject to your desire or will. It is worth understanding that projections from the body can be unwanted as well, and it is possible for the process to become so usual that the normal pattern of sleep can be disrupted, much to the detriment of the needed nightly rest. To this end, it is essential that the projector can retain full control over his or her OBE activity. And this is best achieved by using a strict and regular method for OBEs, one that is not variable. It is essential that the method used is suited to the projector and has been adjusted to suit the personality, so that it feels natural and is 100% reliable. My book contains exercises that can be used with reliable outcomes, and once you have found the method that suits you best, you should then stop other experiments and stick to the one that works best. Working in the etheric and astral will require energy that you would not use if simply asleep. This means that you will often wake up from a projection more tired than when you went to bed. And many people will tell you that they do wake up still tired, and I would guess that in that case they are working on the astral without even being aware of it. This can sometimes be registered in the waking brain as a series of dreams, which often are very vivid, and this is a definite clue. The fact is that you do not need to be aware in order to work on the astral as a helper. Many helpers opt to become unaware of their work once they have experienced it firsthand for a period of time. And this is especially the case where the helper is constantly called to very traumatic incidents. Such experiences will be very taxing, both mentally, emotionally, and physically. Once the face-to-face awareness of these events is shut off, the brain memory is not registered, and far better night's sleep can be had. Hey, here I'm going on about all this stuff, all this traumatic stuff, and you will be wondering why anyone would even consider doing this astral thing. Well, to be fair, the astral experience is so wonderful when not engaged in helping work, and remember, this is purely voluntary. In the etheric, you can travel to the ends of the earth and witness the most treasured sights known to us all. You can travel beyond the earth if you have a mind to, and you are able to cope with the experience. But none of that is even a pale shadow of the wonders of the astral plane. I cannot even begin to describe the incredible sights and experiences that can be had there. You just have to see for yourself, because no words can portray the beauty and the sheer wonder of the astral world. Imagine trying to describe a most beautiful sunset to a person who has been blind from birth, or the pure joy of running to a person born without legs. No, it can't be done, can it? Whatever you say, you will fall pitiably short of anything like the truth of the experience. But well, why not try it for yourself? It's not so very hard. Millions of people the world over have done it at one time or another in their lives, and many can do it at will. If you're interested and would like to try this amazing adventure for yourself, buy my book, Astral Awareness, and you will see how I did it and how you can too. Go to Amazon and type in Astral Awareness, and you can download it, or you can buy a paperback. Type in Eric McGough, and you will also see my fantasy novels as well. Good reading, good traveling, and who knows, I may one day see you there. Bye-bye.